I'm really depressed. And kahapon when I get that refusal, actually was so sad. At the same time, it's really hard to comprehend. It's really hard to accept. But what I always do pagka medyo down ako because of those refusals, I sleep. So, natutulog ako. I right away sleep para hindi ko maisip for everything. So, going back, hindi ko pa rin mag-get over ang refusal na na-receive ko kahapon. And how those people na na-refuse, how they feel. However, I'm trying to pray a lot, and I know na sometimes it's not yet open, hindi pa rin yung open door para sa mga taong ito or mga foreign national na to is hindi pa rin pwede. So, it doesn't define that person kung na-refuse man siya. That doesn't mean na closed door. So if you think about it, refuse, closed door, those are completely different. So I believe that in life talagang when you want to come to Canada, kailangan you have to be fair. Walang palakasan everywhere actually. Walang palakasan no matter how much money you have in the bank. No matter how strong the case is, hindi pa rin yun kasiguraduhan para ma-approve yung isang application for visa. Well, what can we do, guys? We're Filipinos. We need visa. We need Canadian visa, we need US visa, or whatever visa na kailangan gusto nating puntahan. So everything is fair, walang connection, walang magic. What I can say everyone is that keep on trying, keep on hoping, even if I say keep on praying. Kung talagang hindi pa oras, talagang hindi pa oras. To reach out those people who are getting refusal with their, with themselves or yung family nila, hang in there. Marami po akong naririnig na mga refusals right now because napaka-strict ng immigration and because of what's happening in our countries, like not only in Canada, in the US, or other Western countries. Honestly, dahil magulo po talaga. Hindi basta-basta. Hi, Elizabeth. Well, right now, I'm still trying to get over. I also get depression when I get refusal. Meron pa akong isang refusal na LMIA. Pa-approve na siya. Biglang nag 180 degrees na nag-change yung mind. I-release na yung approval ng officer. I was so happy kasi tong officer na to, I knew him as an officer, kung paano siya mag-assess ng isang LMIA. He's very lenient, he's very kind, and most of my process with him are approval. So I was so happy. Then i-release na yung approval, but yung employer nag-back out siya. Sinabi niya hindi ko na kailangan, period. Walang explanation. But again, sorry. Napaka-simple na sorry, but it cost the opportunity for a foreign national na makapag-apply siya ng work permit. That foreign national, I feel bad. She was crying kasi nga nandun na kami, ma-approve na yung LMIN. She's been here as tourist visa. But the good thing is, kakukuha ko lang ng tawag niya, mayroon na ulit employer. Ganun talaga, we need to move on. We need to accept na sometimes hindi talaga lahat is approval, hindi talaga lahat is positive sa lahat ng gusto natin sa buhay. But yun nga, we don't give up. There's always a way, and there's always an opportunity out there. Sa kabilang opportunities, may mga ganun eh. So, well, I'm here, guys, to maybe I want to feel better. And I'm here to answer yung mga question nyo. I believe na may mga followers ako na may mga questions na hindi ko na entertain. That's why I'm trying to do this. If you cannot message me directly dito sa live ko, you can message me on my direct message me sa Facebook dun sa my messaging center. Kasi you can send there kasi nandun ako right now. I'm reading them personally, and that's me. If those people who doesn't knew me yet, I'm Norlyn Oligo Sarma, licensed immigration consultant. Luckily, or maybe it's the grace of God that I get this profession kasi ang ganda kasi nga na-change ko yung trajectory ng buhay ng tao. at the same time I get the opportunity to help people, and of course get the opportunity to make money at the same time. You could be able to you know, articulate yung yung trabaho mo at the same time na nagiging useful, may patutunguhan yung ginagawa mo, and that's what I do, guys. So mayroon akong isang dito. Oh, yeah. Tingnan nyo. May na-refuse, and she got my my post. Mahirap ang ma-refuse. It's really parang nakakasira ng kung hindi isang araw, isang linggo. But of course, we need to get up. We need to move on, and life must go on. So, yeah. So, if you have questions, guys, as what I've said, hindi ko po makikita yung mga questions yung mismo dito sa aking live. But I'm here right now dito sa aking, you can direct message me. Definitely, I will try to answer and share dito sa sa live ko right now. But rest assured, I will not put your name in there, or maybe I will not give the personal information about you. So, parang mga general questions lang yan. So, yeah. Well, let's wait kung may mga magtatanong sa akin. So, 131. So, try to share itong aking live kasi nga marami pong natutulungan. Marami po yung mga nagugulumihan or naguguluhan. And I'm here. Straightforward yung aking answer at saka yung aking advice. It's all based on the immigration law. There's no tricks. There's no kasinungalingan. It's just that whatever, kung ano yung natutunan ko sa immigration law, definitely that's what I'm going to advise to everyone. So, yeah. Okay, see, ito, ang phone number ko, by the way, 647-996-2273. Please message me through SMS or text message me kasi ang dami pong tumatawag, and I usually miss the phone calls unless it is scheduled. And of course, I prefer text message para when I'm not doing anything or I'm not in my meeting, I could be able to answer you guys. So yeah, it's 647-996-2273. Okay, I think I have a lot of messages in my hindi ko pa nababasa lahat. So be patient if I cannot answer you right away. But kung nakikita ko po, napapansin ko na medyo yung inyong question is really complicated, na kailangan talagang upuan na ni-review, definitely I'll set up a consultation with you, a one-on-one personalized consultation. It depends kung ano yung sitwasyon ninyo. So, eto, hi, yes, okay, I don't provide, eto, if you are looking for a job, I don't provide a job po. I'm an immigration consultant. I'm not an agency. So, try to look around for yung sa marketplace, Kijiji, Indeed. Yung mga yun, doon kayo pwedeng maghanap ng trabaho or ask your friends, your connections. Okay, so eto, na-refuse yung gusto ko po sana naming sagutin ang letter to explain. May mga bata po kasi, and my brother po ang naghahatid sa mga bata, and ang wife is nag-work dito. Well, if you get refusal under work permit or temporary resident status temporary resident application, mostly reconsideration is not the way to go. What you can do is to reapply. Kasi sometimes they don't even give you an attention, or they don't even give you an answer when you ask for reconsideration, and that is temporary resident permit. Unless it is work permit, nakita nilang nagkamali talaga, and you prove na nagkamali yung immigration or IRCC, then definitely you have to point that out. Okay? So, yeah, reapply ulit. And of course, doon mo na sasagutin yung refusal. Another one, hi, ask ko lang po, since bumaba na sa 6% ang unemployment rate ng Vancouver, yay! Pwede na po bang makapag-process ng LMIA for nanny caregiver? Oh, that is a very tricky question. Hindi pa po, kasi, well, hold on. lagi namang it's always LMIA process caregiver nanny. Mayroon at mayroon pa rin yan, hindi nawawala. However, ang sabi sa ministerial instruction, if you are a foreign national or tourist visa holder, pag nag-apply ka ng nanny or caregiver, there's not walang pakialam yung unemployment rate na 6% or above. Kapag ka po foreign national ka, tourist visa holder, may ministerial instruction na hindi ka pwedeng mag-process ng LMIA, ibabalik yung inyong application. Pag LMIA nanny caregiver and you are processing outside Canada or you are foreign national. However, just to let you know, I'm just being honest here, may mga na-approban pa rin. Now, your question, unemployment rate, ano ba? Depende po. Isa is, depende kung yung mag-a-apply na worker is tourist visa, na kahit kailan hindi nagkaroon ng work permit, or depende kung yung nag-a-apply is a work permit holder, student permit holder, or PGWP holder. Definitely, that is exempted. Walang pakialam ang nanny at caregiver sa unemployment rate. So, I hope na clarify ko po yung question na yon. Okay? Eto naman, hi Miss Norlin, question lang po, asawa ko is naka SOWP and currently working as client support worker under NOC 42201. My work permit will be expiring on July 2026, malapit na, but unfortunately my NOC will not be qualified to renew his SOWP. May chance po ba na maka-apply siya ng work permit considering his current NOC? We are from Ontario po. Well, kapag SOWP ka, ang requirement is that sino ba yung SOWP? Yung asawa mong SOWP, naka-base siya sa'yo. Now, since ikaw yung dependent mo siya at ikaw yung pinaka main applicant, dapat ang work mo is nakalagay doon sa listahan na pwedeng mag-SOWP yung mga asawa. So ngayon, hindi yan marirenew kapag hindi ka nakakuha ng listahan doon sa listahan for you to get that SOWP sa asawa mo. Ngayon, in terms of that, what I can suggest is that mag-e-end na yung work permit mo by July 2026. Definitely hindi na siya pwedeng mag-apply ng SOWP kasi ang requirement is that at least naka 16 months validity yung work permit mo as a main applicant. Now, I suggest pa-end na yung status mo sa asawa mo, pa-end na rin definitely. So, I suggest find an LMIA. Okay, kahit anong klaseng LMI dyan. But mostly, ang hirap kasi pag ang unemployment rate is higher than 6%, then you're gonna have to find an employer na magbibigay sa'yo ng lower than 6% para maliit lang yung isasahod. Kasi kapag over 6% or above, you have to find an employer na magbibigay ng high wage sa'yo. So, it's kind of a little bit complicated. If you want, maybe I'm missing some information here. And if you want, you can see consultation with me. There's more that I really need to discuss with you, but I need to ask more questions about this situation. This is very critical. July 2026 na yung pagkawala ng inyong or expiration ng inyong status. So, as a temporary resident as a temporary resident permit holders dito sa Canada, work permit, student permit, PGWP, those things, you need an employer, you need an extension. Now, if you are going to extend any kind of those, kailangan nyo ng employer. And the worst case scenario is that you have to get an LMIA. And processing LMIA right now, we're gonna take at least 3 to 4 months. Ang daming back and forth in terms of getting that LMIA. Super duper hirap po talaga. It's very complicated, I can tell you. I've been managing LMIA for so long since naging complicated siya. I wanted to give up this program, pero I cannot give up kasi I know I'm the expert of the LMIA. But again, there's no guarantee. It depends on the officer, but I know what I'm doing. I'm teaching. I'm an instructor actually with immigration law and specifically LMIA. I teach people. So I think the market needs me. Foreign national needs me, especially employers. So yeah. Okay, so seek a consultation if you can. We need an one-on-one. Another question. Indeed po, Ma'am Norlen, yung mag-ama ko po na-refuse ang tourist visa last December 30, 2025. Pero nagpasa po ako ng reconsideration January 5 at may decision at approved naman po sila. Grabe po, my heart is so full. Wow, great. Thank you po Thank you po, isa kayo sa aking inspiration. Salamat, congratulations, Anna Marie. Sometimes when I do reconsideration, I'm telling you, di nila pinapansin. But what I am really seeing here is a miracle situation. Congratulations. So, makakarating na yung pamilya mo. So, yung pagkakahiwa-hiwalay ninyo will gonna not too long. Actually, naawa ko sa mga magkakahiwa-hiwalay na parents at saka ang mga anak. I really wish sometimes gusto kong pumunta sa Ottawa to tell them what I feel kasi ako yung direct na nakaka-experience sa mga kausap ko. Ang daming tears, ang daming heartbreaks, but what can we do? That's them. Walang puso ang IRCC, I believe right now. But I really hope that it will gonna change eventually. Okay, isang tanong pa po, may willing mag-sponsor sa akin, sister-in-law ko, if hindi possible na makapag-process sila ng LMI for nanny, pwede po bang house cleaner na lang? Then, if ma-approve ang LMI, willing naman ako mag-exit and i-process ang Pilipinas ang work permit. Yes, you can still do housekeeper LMIA. The problem with the LMIA housekeeper is that kapag ang unemployment rate is 6%, just in case lang, I'm just saying, pagka 6% or above, definitely high wage ang ibibigay. But sinabi mo nga, Vancouver, hindi ko naman memorize lahat ng ating cities, kung unemployment rate, I have to take a look at it. Then low wage, then go for housekeeping. If that's the case, go for housekeeper. Then ang process niyan is that you get the LMIA process na nandito ka sa loob ng Canada as tourist visa holder, and then process sa labas ng Canada. Ganun yan. Okay, so another one, pwede po ba akong magpa-LMIA para sa pamangkin ko? Yes, definitely. You get an LMIA, process that LMIA, go through the job bank, go through the LMIA. So tatlo yung dadaanan mo in order for you to go through application for LMIA, which is Canada Revenue Agency with the business payroll number, job bank, kailangan i-validate yan, and of course, the Service Canada sa LMIA. So, tatlo yung dadaanan mo in order for you to get through LMIA process. Masalimuot ang LMIA sa totoo lang. I can tell, mas mahirap pa ang LMIA process kaysa permanent residency application. Okay? You're welcome. Okay, so another one. Pwede po bang magpabook? Yes. I think I sent you yung how to book. I think my staff sent you kung paano magpabook sa akin. Then definitely you do that. Once you pay the consultation fee, then definitely they could be able to connect with you para i-schedule yung consultation, one-on-one consultation with me. Not anybody else but me. Okay, another one. Hi, Madam. Question po LMIA PGWP holder ako. And permit will be expiring on Feb 2027. Yay, malayo pa. When is the best month to apply for LMIA plus work permit? I believe since kausapin mo na yung employer mo ngayon kung willing sila na ibigyan ka ulit ng LMIA, I would recommend kung Feb, siguro mga September 2026, mag-start ka na go through with the job bank kasi medyo masalimuot nga yung process ng job bank, ang tagal. Kung may mali doon sa record ng employer, doon kayo nahahalt, or doon hindi kayo po kahit kailan makakakuha ng validity ng job bank kung may mali doon sa record ng employer. So can I also extend my husband open work permit once I have my LMIA and work permit? Well, kapag under caregiver program, you cannot extend the open work permit of your husband kasi hindi siya included doon sa list na pwedeng mag-open permit ang asawa mo, unfortunately. Now, what you can do is to get an LMIA para ma-sponsoran siya at makapag-extend ng work permit. Okay, good evening Miss Norlin. Maraming salamat sa palaging pagpapaliwanag at pagbibigay ng inspirasyon at pag-asa sa amin ng mga proseso sa pag-apply dito sa Canada. Ask ko lang po sana kung gaano po katagal ang proseso ng pag-apply ng Certificate of Register of Employer po dito sa Manitoba. Mabilis lang, okay? Mabilis lang yung certificate. Basta kompleto, actually you can just email. I did that many times sa mga client ko dyan sa Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Napakabilis. It takes only 1 day or 2 days. Ang bilis. Right now, right now. Before, it takes a few weeks. But right now, with my experience, mabilis siya. I-email nyo na lang yung form na na-signan, na-fill-upan. I-email nyo mismo. Nandun naman yung email. So, you can do that. Okay, so mabilis lang siya. Okay, hi ma'am, good evening po. Hi, yun na lang po ang name ko. Of course, yes. Yung employer ko po, kasi gusto niya akong tulungan, PR under OINP. Qualified po siya kasi na-meet naman po niya yung mga eligibilities ng employer. Good. Currently working po ako as front desk pero part-time lang po since June. Tapos ngayon gusto niya akong i-promote as full-time front desk supervisor para matulungan niya ako sa aking permanent residency. Ang concern ko po is kung qualified po ba ako under OINP kahit wala po akong supervisory experience. I graduated po as PSW. What I can suggest is to seek a consultation with me. I cannot guess your situation. And main thing is dapat may English exam ka at saka nakapagpa-West ka na rin. Anybody who wants to get a job offer or PNP, provincial nominee, or any kind of permanent residency application, please be reminded that everyone needs to get a English exam result at saka kailangan din ng assessment sa inyong foreign credential. Without those, forget about it. That's why I'm telling to everyone, gusto nilang maging work permit holder, gusto nilang maging permanent residency sa Canada, but if you are not prioritizing the requirement, you're just actually fooling around, honestly, until ma-refuse na yung application, until mawalan na kayo ng status. So no, the moment, guys, the moment that you come to Canada, pinaka-importante ang English exam at saka West. If you want to get that permanent residency, and if it is work permit, it will gonna actually help out, honestly. But it's not a requirement, pero if you have that, why not? Diba? Pwede kayong mag-exam dito kahit tourist visa holder lang kayo. Pinaka-importante yon. Hindi po pwedeng forever na tourist visa kayo dito sa Canada. Being tourist visa holder dito sa Canada, that is only a buying time situation in order for you to find and look for an employer, maybe take the English exam, magpa-West na kayo, pa-assess nyo na yung inyong credentials, yung mga foreign transcript of records nyo. Kasi dito sa Canada right now, hindi po tinatanggap yung inyong foreign credentials. They wanna see na inassess siya ng third party. So, might as well, yan ang investment ninyo, yan ang inyong pagtuunan. Do not keep on buying other things, rather focus ninyo itong English exam nyo, focus ninyo itong West nyo. I know na nakakatukso po ang material things sa Canada. But, why not? Focus nyo na muna, whatever you have, kung ano yung enough, focus nyo na muna yung inyong qualification requirements sa inyo. And main thing, guys, if you are temporary resident permit holder dito, you need money. You need money. The reason why you need money is that kailangan nyo, pag nawalan kayo ng trabaho, kasi hindi naman lagi na nandyan yung employer, they can actually release you anytime they want. Hindi nila obligasyon yun kahit nakasign sila ng contract. Keep that money para hindi kayo mapariwara. Usually, pag nawalan na sila ng pera, go back to to their comfort zone, manghingi sila ng tulong sa iba, or eto pang nakakatakot, they don't have any choice but to live with with the man or with the woman para pakainin sila, and then di nila alam na pariwara na sila. So it's better na may pera po kayo to pay for your accommodation, for your food. Napaka-importante po yun. Para maging safer kayo. At the same time, eventually you're gonna have a better life dito sa Canada. I believe with your decisions dito sa Canada, napaka-critical po, napaka-importante. Hindi pwedeng paligoy-ligoy, hindi pwedeng you're joking at your time, hindi pwedeng procrastination. Oh God, that is the main thing na sakit ng karamihan, procrastination. They will just gonna actually do it pagka feel na nila. Hindi pwede eh. Kailangan prioritize nyo to, itong mga requirements, prioritize nyo itong buhay nyo sa Canada, nabigyan kayo ng opportunity to come to Canada, might as well do the right things. Priority nyo kung ano yung dapat na priorities. Okay? So, that's just my advice. I know it's not easy to follow, especially kung, a lot of people kasi, bakit nga ba tayo, nagiging materialistic. 'Di ba? Gusto nating magyabang. Gusto nating ipakita sa iba na we're like this to satisfy what we feel. Pero hindi ninyo alam na mas dumadami yung pressure sa buhay ninyo when you need that money and then wala pala kayong mabubunot sa inyong bank account. So it's really hard, guys. So nakikita ko talaga yung mga yan dito. I'm saying it kasi nakikita ko eh. So but it's just an advice, guys. Grabe. I wish I could just say something na i-absorb ng mga tao, but hindi eh. I try to advise people immigration, pero alam nyo, immigration napaka-effective ng aking advice. Lahat nakikinig, and I think this is my job, this is my mission, to advise people. Okay, another question. Hi po ma'am, gusto sana magpa-consult if ano pang pwede sa akin. HRM graduate ako and recently lang po last year, nag-take ako ng caregiver course, 6 months sa Pilipinas, Cebu tourist visa holder lang ako. Sana naman po ay may option ako o matulungan mo ako ma'am. Salamat, hintayin ko na lang ang reply mo. Yes, I can definitely get a consultation with you, but since andito ka na rin lang, you are tourist visa holder, I don't really mind kung anong klaseng course ka meron. But one thing for sure, you need an LMIA. Every tourist visa holder dito sa Canada, everybody needs that labor market impact assessment. In short, this is a permit for a foreign national to be able to change their status from tourist visa to work permit. Ganon yun. Pagkapawala na yung status nyo, tourist visa pa rin. Okay? So, LMIA pa rin. Ganon palagi. Okay, another one. Thank you po sa pagsagot sa tanong ko. Last question po, need ko po bang magpa-West kahit na may MBA diploma ako dito? Nalilito kasi ako kung required pa ba, since dito ako nag-master, I'm registering din kasi po sa BC, PNP at E. You know what? If you want to ask my opinion, I want you to go for West. I know may MBA ka na dito. Alam nyo ba, mayroon akong applicant. Oh, no. Actually, yes. Mayroon akong applicant na tinake over. What she did, she was so complacent na eto na lang, mayroon na akong bachelor degree sa Canada. Alam nyo ba ang ginawa? In-assess lang kung ano yung nandito sa Canada. And then, ni-refuse siya. So, I would recommend, I know it is expensive, $300 something, go for assessment pa rin yung natapos nyo sa Pilipinas para ipaghaluin. I understand may MBA na kayo. I completely understand that. But may mga nare-refuse po dahil binibase lang nila yung years na nag-aral kayo dito. So, I know that was actually 2 years, I think, ang MBA, or I don't know kung 2 years, or I don't know kung ilang taon. But, I prefer, kung ako sa'yo, you don't wanna take a chance na hindi mo mapa-assess. Pa-assess niyo pa rin yung West din nyo, or magpa-West pa rin kayo. Kasi nga, you don't wanna take a chance kahit a small thing. So that's my recommendation, but it's all up to you. I will not tell you something na alam ko na ikakapahamak mo. So I hope na, makakuha ka ng pa-assess ka ng West. Okay, another question po, if I get promoted to Tier 1 or 0 during my renewal, pwede ko po bang sponsoran ulit si husband and kids po? Yes, but again, kailangan mayroong 16 months na validity yung inyong work permit, and then that promotion, that has to be, you have to be open permit. Pag hindi, naka-base yan yung sa promotion mo dun sa LMIA at saka close permit, be careful. Medyo ano siya, medyo complicated yung answer at saka question, but it depends, okay? So it depends. Okay, another one. Hello po, pwede pong kayo makausap. Okay. It is not easy to talk to me right now in like, by phone, one-on-one, unless you seek a consultation with me para ma-schedule. Kasi if I will do this to everyone, I will miss a lot of people. Honestly, I cannot really be more effective and efficient sa aking mga clients. So, yeah. Okay. So, konti lang to, guys. Mamaya aalis din ako ulit and then I'll come back again. It's just that I believe that medyo napagod ako dun sa paperworks and might as well I wanna give back to every one of my followers. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, ano pa nga ba yung mga issue right now? Ang daming issue about immigration, magsasawa kayo talaga. Immigration law is actually very napakalawak ang immigration law. Ang daming program, ang daming opportunities sa lahat. And but regardless, sabi ko nga kahit gaano kalakas yung inyong application, kung hindi pa rin yan para sa inyo, talagang hindi mangyayari. So, be strong, guys. Maraming kung gaano kalawak at karami yung choices sa immigration, ganun din kalawak yung plano at saka opportunities sa isang buhay ng tao. So, I think that's the main thing. So, yun, kapag hindi na ako naka-live, if you have some questions, you can just message me, then my staff will gonna actually send you how to consult with me. I'm glad and I'm actually happy that kahit papaano mayroon akong mga na-answeran sa inyo. I heard about the TR to PR. I'm hearing it na malapit, parang they will gonna give it 2026. But it's not an assurance, wala pang guidelines. Pero kung mayroon, definitely I will announce here and I'll be happy for everyone who are qualified. However, yung mga gustong mag-apply ng TR to PR, definitely kailanganin yan, English exam, pawes kayo, pa-assess nyo yung inyong foreign credential. Those are the two requirements na napaka-importante na hindi agad-agad makukuha. And matagal-tagal yung pagkuha nun. So, gawin nyo na yun. It's very important po na ganun. And also, ito pa ang aking technique or maybe advice. Kapag may nagbibigay sa inyo ng job at sinabing magbayad ka ng X amount of dollar, usually they ask you for $10,000 or even $20,000 just for the LMIA at saka job. Pagka ganyan yung yung sitwasyon, wag kayong magdepende completely doon sa agency. I want you to research, I want you to connect with the employer. Kailangan yung kausapin yung employer kung legitimate ba talaga na yung employer is giving you a job. Hindi yung, pag sinabi ng agency na, hindi namin pwedeng ibigay until you give money. Run away. Alam nyo na hindi na ito legitimate na kausap. At saka, make sure na kailangan talaga makausap nyo yung employer. At saka, tanungin nyo kung willing talaga silang magpa-process ng LMIA. Kasi, processing an LMIA is not as easy as like, handing your documents as employer. Hindi. There's a process. May mga validation yan. Importante, job bank. Ang hirap pong i-validate ang job bank. Pangalawa, CRA, kailangan nakakuha sila ng business payroll number. And pangatlo po is, pagka nakumpleto nyo na yung reaching out, kaya may job bank is to prove na nire-reach out natin yung mga Canadians at permanent resident. Pag wala, well, definitely, between me and you, kung mayroon na kayong employer, then pag wala, they resort to foreign workers or foreign nationals. Now, if that's the case, then of course, that person will gonna apply sa LMIA Service Canada naman. Then, LMI Service Canada will actually take a look the completeness ng application. Minsan, nagkakamali ang system nila. Sasabihin nila, walang notice of assessment pero nandun. So, again, what you can do is to reapply again hanggang sa mailagay ng system yung application. Then, we'll wait for 1 month, 2 months, or even up to 4 to 5 months ang process ng LMIA pag hinawakan na ng officer. Once na hinawakan na ng officer, mabilisan na yan. So, yun, usually ang mga officers, ano nga ba? Sige, you know what, let's talk about officers because I deal a lot of them. Most of the officers, actually, my Filipinos, yes, my Filipinos, they can be team supervisors or team leaders. Pero not much of Filipinos. Karamihan, Indian, Pakistani, yun, at saka, I think from Africa. Pero karamihan ng nandun sa LMIA Service Canada, trust me, Indian and Pakistani. Kasi I know, I see their family name, I see their accent, honestly. Karamihan sila yung nag-a-assist ng LMIA, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, maybe may connection sila na nandun is kanya naman di ba? So those are the people na nag-work doon. May mga puti, may mga Korean, pero not much. So I know it, guys. I'm telling you, but again, karamihan talaga na napakaraming Indian at saka Pakistani dun sa assessment ng LMIA. If you can take a look on the LMIA, yung officer dun, yung mga immigrant din. But, again, may mga mababait naman. Napakabait nung iba. Yung iba, they don't even assess it. They just release yung, yung kanilang assessment and approval. So, but may mga iba, grabe, 3 pages yung questions. And back and forth pa yan. So again, LMIA is not an easy way of getting into work permit application. Pero it's happening pa rin. It's out there. And also, again, when you seek a representation, make sure na yung representative is actually, let's say, licensee sila or may license sila to represent you sa Service Canada. But ask them kung may nagawa na ba silang LMIA. Maybe siguro ask more questions. Kasi nga may mga licensee, mga lawyer pa nga yung iba, they don't know how to process LMIA. So be careful, especially napakabayad na kayo. So yeah. Okay, so another one, ma'am, pag i-process ng sister-in-law ko yung LMIA for house cleaner, magkano yung requirements at saka magkano. So, I'll send it to you later and then we go from there, okay? Depende kasi. It depends kung ano yung anong klaseng employer, anong klaseng requirements at saka kung gaano ka-complicated yung case. If we are going to start from the very beginning, then definitely maraming process yan. Okay, so yeah. So yun, ano pa nga ba? Permanent residency, usually sa mga pumunta dito na foreign workers na PGWP, estudyante, work permit, most of them, they will gonna be under economic class. So, ibig sabihin, economic class will gonna be based on your experience, based on, of course, legitimate experience yan kapag ka under economic class kayo. Importante yan. And mostly, economic class needed an English exam at saka credential nyo is napa-assess sa World Education Services. So, yun, economic class yun. I do that, well, when I was studying almost 9 years ago, I think 9 years, more than 9 years ago, when I was studying immigration law, we have to study at least 9 programs, 9 courses. That 9 courses, one is temporary resident permit, which is naka-umbrella yung tourist visa, work permit, open permit, paano pag na-refuse, restoration, etc. That is only one thing, and then also economic class. That's another part of it. Economic class, again, naka-under ang work permit, permanent resident, and all. And also citizenship, express entry. Those things we studied. We have to at least pass B, minimum B ang aming grade. Kung hindi kami makapasa ng B, definitely hindi kami makaka-forward to get that program. So, yeah, immigration law program. Okay. So, wala na yatang question. Ano pa nga ba yung sasabihin ko? But, I believe I like to inspire and I like to talk to people. I think this is what I always do. Okay. You're welcome, everyone. I'm glad na nasagot ko po yung inyong mga tanong. Honestly, yung mga gustong magpa-LMIA ng housekeeper, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. Ang housekeeper, naka-base yan sa high wage kapag yung city is 6% or above ang unemployment rate. So, ibig sabihin, minimum $38 an hour. And a lot of times, officers will gonna actually doubt that offer. Imagine, mas malaki pa yung sasahurin ninyo as housekeeper kaysa sa kanila ng mga officers. I believe yung mga officers, ang kinikita lang nila yung mga yan. Siguro mga 70K or 80K a year. I remember when I was trying to be a CBSA officer and napasa ko na siya. I got it everything from beginning interview, panel interview ng mga CBSA officers hanggang sa exam, mental exam, psychological exam, ano pa nga ba, immigration law exam. Yung mga yon napasa ko lahat. And the time na kailangan ko nang mag-sign para pumunta na sa Ottawa to actually get trained, nakita ko dun sa signing sa intake na kailangan kong i-let go yung aking trabaho as immigration consultant. And when I get the job as a CBSA, ang offer is only 80K a year. So I turn it down. Kasi nga, hindi na ako pwedeng tumulong sa inyo. At the same time, 80K a year, that's napakalit po na nasahod yun sa isang mahirap na trabaho. But as an officer, I believe pinapalakad. I don't know kung anong ginagawa nila doon. But usually kapag a temporary resident permit ang nag-a-assist is AI, artificial intelligence na, unfortunately. So napakadaming AI na ngayon and napakadami na yatang inalis na mga officers. So yeah, marami akong colleagues, they are they used to be an immigration officers, and I believe I don't want to boast, but they're my students. So I teach them how to process paperwork, how to process LMI because they don't know. Okay? I teach them how to process yung work permit. I don't know. I think they have their own understanding in terms of approving, but processing is not actually in there. So, imagine immigration officer, they don't know that. And also, when you call customer service ng immigration, they are not immigration law specialists. They don't know and they did not have any certificate about immigration law. They're only customer service people. That's why you try to call 188-242-2100. Actually, matagal na akong dito matawag sa kanila. I only call them pagka may mga follow-ups. Pero if you ask for questions, definitely they don't know. Kaya minsan they will say, sandali, we're gonna come back to you. Yung pala, nagbabasa sila ng kanilang notes, nagbabasa sila ng libro para i-forward. And then, pagka yung tanong nyo, po-forward nila sa email ninyo. Then, copy and paste sila. So, in between of those rules, they definitely do not know. Okay? So, for us, as immigration consultant and practicing consultants or practicing immigration law, definitely, kung may immigration law, in between, we know. I remember si Elizabeth, she was asking for a yung interpretation ng letter ng immigration. You can read it in like as is, pero in between of those mayroon pang meaning yun. So yeah, ganun yun, ganun. Kaya complex ang immigration law, but I like it. I like what I do, and I'm proud of doing this kind of job kasi nga as what I've said, I could be able to change the trajectory of the lives of people. So hello po Ate Gloria, nandito ka na naman. I'm about to go. But magandang gabi po, and kumusta na po kayo dyan? I hope everyone is doing well. And I know you're in Vancouver po ba? Or Alberta. Yeah, so I think wala na akong makitang questions. Sayang, hindi yung mga taong nagtatanong, ang daming nagtatanong. But anyway, if you change condition dun sa sitwasyon mo, it's not days. It might gonna take 2 to 3 months.